Struggling to get your product noticed in a crowded market? Let's explore some effective product marketing strategies that can boost your product's success. Hi, I'm Michael Pacheco, a fractional CMO and consultant specializing in health tech and tech industries. Today, I want to guide you through some key strategies for effective product marketing. First, let's talk a little bit about identifying your target market. Understanding who your ideal customers are is really crucial for any marketing strategy. You need to know their demographics, their psychographics, their preferences, their pain points, their buying behavior. You need to understand all of that. It will really help tailor your message and your marketing efforts to meet their needs. You need to meet them where they're at because everyone else is trying to get them as customers as well. They're not going to necessarily come to meet you where you're at. You get to meet them where they're at. That's why we need to understand all of those things about them. Market research. Conduct thorough market research to gather data on your target audience. Use surveys, interviews, analytics to understand their needs and their preferences. Segmenting your market. You can divide your target market into segments based on common characteristics. For some, this might be location data. It might be reading data. If you know they read a certain magazine or a certain kind of magazine. It could be any number of things. It might be an age range. Segmenting can be based on any number of things. It really depends on the product that you're selling and the message behind that product. Creating buyer personas as well. Develop detailed buyer personas representing your ideal customers. I call these ICPs, ideal customer profiles. These personas should include information about their demographics, again, psychographics, their goals, their challenges, their buying behavior, etc., etc., etc. Pain points. Next up, let's talk about crafting a compelling value proposition. Crafting a compelling, valuable proposition. Bit of a tongue twister. Your value proposition is a clear statement that explains how your product solves a problem, how it delivers specific benefits, and frankly, why customers should choose your product over your competitor's product. So number one, identify unique benefits. List the unique benefits and features of your product. What makes your product stand out from the competition? What makes your product different from the competition? And I'm going to fill you in on a little secret here. You can be selling commodities and still do this, and you can still do it well. I'll use an example from Schlitz beer. This was marketed by a man named Claude Hopkins back in the early 20th century. And he was trying to find, I think it was Schlitz beer. I'm like 90% sure it was Schlitz. It could have been a different one. At any rate, all beer, all the macro brews, all are more or less the same. They're certainly very similar, right? In one of them, they might have a different yeast profile than the other, but there's not really a lot that stands out in the product itself. And a lot of the beer marketing, especially from back in the day with branding, you needed to build a brand around your beer to create a kind of club. When he was trying to list unique benefits and features of the product, he struggled a little bit. What he ended up doing was talking about the facts of the brewing process, about the incredible amount of filtration that happened with the water, about the oxygen levels in the tank rooms, things that, frankly, all of the competitors were doing, and they were doing it exactly the same. It was common to the brewing of any beer, at the time at least. I'm not a brewer, so I don't know if that translates to today. But at the time, it was common for every beer. But what was different about it and what then set Schlitz apart is Schlitz was the only company talking about it. Every other beer company in their marketing and their advertising assumed that nobody cared. I think it was the purity of the water is what everybody was talking about. We have the purest water. Our water is more pure than our competitors' water. And they would use all these superlatives. And if one thing you may not know, one thing about superlatives is that they erode trust. If you use superlatives in marketing and advertising, whether you realize it or not, in the back of your head, it's eroding your trust in that brand because it's a little bit flashy. So instead of talking about the purity of the water, Claude Hopkins talked about the fact that they drew their water from wells that were drilled 2,000 feet down. Now again, every other beer company was doing the exact same thing, but Schlitz was the only one talking about it. So anyways, that's I digress, but it gives you an idea of what that was, kind of what that's about. Moving on, number 2, address pain points. So focus on how your product addresses the pain points and needs of your target audience. Highlight the specific problems that it solves. That's it. Figure out, what problem are you solving? This is Entrepreneurship 101. What problem are you solving? Talk about that. Number 3, be clear and concise. Ensure that your value proposition is clear, concise, and easy to understand. Whatever you do, for heaven's sake, do not use jargon. Don't use industry jargon unless your buyers are users of industry jargon. If you are a cybersecurity company, if you're a health tech company, and you're selling to hospitals, by all means use hospital jargon, because they're going to get it. You're going to be speaking their language. The point is, you want your offer, your value proposition, to be easy to understand by your ICP, your ideal customer profile, your ideal customers, your prospects. They need to understand exactly what it is you do and why it's valuable for them. So avoid jargon in most cases, unless your target audience uses jargon. And then speak their language is really another way of saying that. Speak their language. Don't expect them to speak your language. Now let's talk about the marketing mix. This is known as the 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. Number 1, product. Ensure that your product meets the needs of your target market. Get feedback. Continuously improve your product based on customer feedback and also market trends, right? Keep an ear to the ground on that. Number 2 is price. Set a pricing strategy that reflects the value of your product and that is competitive in the market. Consider different pricing models like subscription, freemium, premium pricing, etc., etc. There's a saying by a guy named Dan Kennedy. I believe it was Dan Kennedy, and he said there is no strategic advantage to being the second cheapest, but there is to being the most expensive. There's no strategic advantage in being the second cheapest, but there is to being the most expensive. Words of wisdom. Think about that. Think about how you can increase the amount of value that you deliver with your product or service so that you can be the most expensive. That's your strategic advantage. Number 3, place. Choose the right distribution channels, right? So this is marketing channels, sales channels, things like that. Choose the right distribution channels to reach your target market. This could be online platforms, physical stores, a combination of both, etc., etc. Number 4 is promotion. Develop a comprehensive promotional strategy that includes digital marketing, social media, email marketing, traditional advertising, etc., to engage and reach your target audience. Pretty simple. In conclusion, effective product marketing requires a clear understanding of your target market, a compelling value proposition, and a well-rounded marketing mix. By focusing on these key areas, you can boost your product's success and achieve your business goals. What I want you to do is reflect on your current product marketing strategy. Have you accurately identified your target market? Is your value proposition compelling and clear? Are you effectively, keyword effectively, utilizing the marketing mix? Reviewing these elements can really help you refine your strategy and absolutely improve your results that you're seeing in your marketing. If you're struggling with your product marketing strategy, I'm here to help. Reach out to me and let's chat. It's completely free. I have nothing to sell you on this call. And my only goal is to provide you with actionable value that you can apply directly to your business. You can get at me on LinkedIn or by reaching out to me directly on my website, michaelpacheco.co. And finally, if you found this video helpful, give a like, leave me a note in the comments and let me know what was valuable for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, give the video a subscribe. If you're listening to this on a podcast, we'd love for you to leave us a review. And that's everything from me. Until next time, I'm Michael Pacheco. Thank you very much. Cheers.